බිස්කට් වේදිකාවට දැන් පැමිණි සීඝ්‍රගාමී රසයේ මංචි පොටේටෝ ක්‍රැකර්. බිස්කට් වේදිකාවට දැන් පැමිණි සීඝ්‍රගාමී රසයේ මංචි පොටේටෝ ක්‍රැකර්.
On satellite, on Freeview, on cable, on radio, on mobile, on the web and around the world. This is First at 9 on Other Derana 24/7.
Making headlines first at 9, quitting the post. Minister Ravi Karunanayake resigns as the Minister of Foreign Affairs and becomes a backbencher.
Good governance should be set in example, and that is the reason why I basically gave the resignation.
Thank you, Honour.
Opposition response. Parliamentarian Dallas Alahaperuma says that the resignation of a minister alone will not resolve the bond issue. Sour taste. Minister Susil Premajand says that he is disappointed about the current government's governance. Traffic fines. Cabinet of Ministers approves proposed 25,000 rupee fine for traffic offences. And in international headlines, war looming. North Korea plans to fire missiles near US state of Guam, and the plan will be presented to its leader soon. Good evening everyone, I'm Mahesh Johnny and welcome to First at 9 right here on Other Derana 24/7. Many developments to report tonight with regard to the resignation of Minister Ravi Karunanayake. So let's begin with what we know so far. The Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Ravi Karunanayake, resigned from his portfolio as Minister of Foreign Affairs today. He made a special statement in Parliament on the allegations levelled against him regarding the controversial central bank bond issuance.
Minister Ravi Karunanayake arrived at Parliament at around 1:30 in the afternoon and made a special statement regarding the allegations levelled against him pertaining to the bond issue.
Garu Ravi Karunanayake මෙතුමා
කතානායකතුමනි කොළඹ තුනේ මොනාක් නිවස සංකීර්ණයේ
Honourable Speaker, an issue arose regarding me staying in a house at Monarch Apartments. There was a need to shift to another house since the house we were staying at in Bathramulla had to be renovated. I was not given an official residence. Most of those who signed the no confidence motion against me privately know that I have not earned money from politics. Appearing before the commission to probe the bond issue and testifying depicts a new political culture. The allegations levelled against me are baseless. I am not connected to any of that. Some groups and media have already made me a culprit. I will not be discouraged by them. Therefore, I decide to resign from my ministerial portfolio, setting an example in the country. I didn't take the decision with regret. I proudly go and work as a backbencher from now on.
මම මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ආඩම්බරෙන් ගිහිලා පසුපෙළ මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක් වශයෙන් මම දැන් කටයුතු කරනවා.
බොහොම මන්ත්‍රීතුමනි
අද එතුමා මේ මෙතන තියෙන මේ පරීක්ෂණයට
He has set an example that the government does not infringe ongoing investigations. There is freedom for media at present to shout about this issue. When we sought resignations in the past, we were labelled traitors. We actually created a new tradition and we are proud of it.
අලුත් සම්ප්‍රදායක් ඇති කරා ඒ ගැන අපි ආඩම්බර වෙනවා කියලා ප්‍රකාශ කරමින් වාඩි වෙනවා.
It's a fundamental right of a person that he is presumed to be innocent until he is found guilty. Honorable Ravi Karunanayake has not yet been found guilty by any competent court. And consequently, he is entitled to that presumption of innocence. I commend him for that bold step. He has set an example which many others would do well to follow.
Well, Speaker, I would also like to mention that this decision was taken when I was very much advised by the lawyers that there is no necessity. You cannot bring two no-confidence motions against a member in one session. Disregarding that fact, I want to ensure that the good governance should be set in example, and that is the reason why I basically gave the resignation.
Thank you, Honour.
So please bear in mind that there is no connection between a no confidence that has been given, but I thought it was my moral duty to come forward and do that.
Former Minister of Finance went on to become a foreign minister and today took his seat as an ordinary parliamentarian.
Order, please. Order, please. Please sit down. Karunakala vaadi wenna.
Good governance does not mean resignations following revelations of theft or resigning while a no-confidence motion is looming. I saw Minister Rajendra Senaratne saying the accusations level against the former Minister of Finance is the size of an onion segment. What we would like to know is the size of the entire onion. I would like to make an announcement pertaining to the motions signed and forwarded by 30 parliamentarians, including Honourable Dinesh Gunawardena, against former Minister of Foreign Affairs Ravi Karunanayake. With the reason for the motion pertaining to Honourable Ravi Karunanayake ceasing to exist, I would like to inform the Chamber that there is no cause to accept the motion at present.
එම යෝජනාව පිළිගැනීමට වර්තමානයේ හේතුවක් නැමැති බව කරු සභාවට දන්වනු කැමැත්තෙමි.
Following the announcement of former Minister Ravi Karunanayake's resignation in Parliament, various politicians expressed their views on the matter. Here are some of those views expressed.
මට මුකුත් කියන්න බැහැ. එතුමා අස්වෙච් එක මං හිතන්නේ නොකල යුතුව තිබුණා මම හිතන විදියට. චෝදනාව පිළිබඳව රටේ
People started talking about the issue. He resigned at that moment. We are happy about it.
අපි සතුටු වෙනවා.
ආණ්ඩුවට කියනවා අපේ පැත්තේ හොරු ඉන්නවා නම්
Rather than talking about it, we tell the government to do exactly what they did to them. If there are thieves on our side, ensure the alleged thieves on our side to undergo the same fate we brought on them.
අපේ පැත්තේ ඉන්න හොරුන්ටත් අත් කරලා දෙන්න.
මේ පූර්වාදර්ශ තමයි රට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. වරදකාරය බවට
The meaning of good governance is not handing in resignations after being found out. Now the question is as to who will fill the position. Tilak Marapana will be appointed for that. Tilak Marapana was a minister who had resigned after being accused over avant-garde issue.
avant-garde සිද්ධිය සම්බන්ධයෙන් වගඋත්තරකරුවෙක් වෙලා ඉල්ලා සිට ඇමතිවරයෙක්. විපක්ෂය කියන ඔබතුමාවත් කැඳවන්න ඕන කියලා බඳුන් කර කොමිසමට
අපි ඕන වෙලාවක සූදානම්. ඒකට ඉඩ දෙනවා අපේ පක්ෂයෙන් කියනවා නම් අපිට ඉල්ලාස් වෙන්න කියලා අපි ඒකටත් සූදානම්.
ෆයිසා මුස්තාෆා මහත්මයා විශේෂම හොරු ආරක්ෂා කරන
In my view, since Minister Faisal Mustafa is attempting to protect thieves, I clearly informed the Speaker of the breach of trust.
විශ්වාසය පළුදු කිරීම වෙනුවෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි
We will stop all the prevalent delays. Then we will set up special court to catch the old thieves. Wait and see.
ඉඳලා බලන්න දැන්. හරිනේ.
More on the story. Parliamentarian Ravi Karunanayake arrived at his residence in Rajamalwatha Road, Jayantipura, Bathramulla, where he made a statement to the media.
Former Minister Ravi Karunanayake arrived at his residence in Rajamalwatha, Bathramulla, where many of his supporters gathered to greet the former foreign minister. You can see the house that is being built. Today I created a new political tradition. Today, although we are in the government, it seems as if we are in the opposition. At this moment, I remind that we should go forward with the UNP, with the President and the Prime Minister towards a government for the people. In other local stories, Minister of Science, Technology and Research Susil Premchand says that he is disappointed about the current government. He expressed these views at a media briefing held in Colombo today. The central bank bond issue happened in the February of 2015. Take a look at Hansard's of March and April that year. Just listen to the statements made by the members of the COPE committee. They don't even know what footnotes mean. The entire economy was affected because of this bond issue.
ඇත්තටම හිතාගෙන ඇවිල්ලා තින්නේ ඒක තමයි බැලු බැලමට පේන්නේ.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ ආණ්ඩුවේ ඉන්න කට්ටියට හැකියාව නැහැ.
ඒකනේ ප්‍රශ්නේ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
නිකන් ඉන්නවද නම්?
නිකන් ඉන්නව නෙමෙයි ඉතින් අපි. නමුත් වැඩි දිනාගේ මතයත් එක්කනේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ.
ඔබතුමාලගේ මතය පිළිගන්නේ නැද්ද?
එහෙම පිළිගත්තා නම් මේ සිදුවෙන ගොඩාක් දේවල් වළක්වා ගන්න තිබුණා.
ඔබතුමාලා කලකිරීමක් තියෙනවද ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන්?
අනිවාර්යයෙන්.
ඒක ඔබතුමා තීරණ ගන්න තියෙනවා.
තීරණය ගන්න ඕන වෙලාවට තීරණ ගන්නවා. එහෙම අපි ඉතිහාසෙත් අරන් තියෙනවා ඉස්සරහටත් එහෙම. දැන් රවි කරුණායක මැතිතුමත් හිතාගෙන ඉන්නේ නැති 2020 නෙවෙයි ඉතින් පස්සෙත් ඉන්නයි කියලා හිටන් මන්තුරේ. නමුත් අනපේක්ෂිත දෙයක් සිද්ධ වුණේ.
UPFA parliamentarian Dallas Alhaperume says the resignation of former Minister Ravi Karunanayake alone will not resolve the bond issue. He made these remarks addressing a media briefing at the parliamentary complex today. A minister holding a responsible position yesterday stated that the loss incurred by the country as a result of the controversial bond transaction is trillion rupees. The loss related to Ravi Karunanayake is 160 million rupees, but it is not related to the bond scam. It is a transaction between fraudsters. A central bank was not under Ravi Karunanayake. Do you remember a committee comprising of 3 attorneys who were appointed to look into this matter? When compared to the information being revealed at the Commission of Inquiry at present, the 3 attorneys are culpable of misdirection. Law should be enforced against these attorneys. He is a president's counsel. Therefore, he must know that since the case is still being heard in court, there are question marks over its signing.
During the morning program, Derana Aruna, it became apparent that a newspaper had reported that the Central Working Committee is scheduled to meet at the President's residence with members of the joint opposition also invited. But we were not invited. Usually it is the party headquarters that informs us. When we contacted them, they said we were not asked to be informed. I'm a deputy chairman of the Central Working Committee and therefore they have a responsibility to inform us.
In other stories from the Parliament, the session briefly adjourned for a party leaders' meeting today after parliamentarians representing the joint opposition protested over the issue of Samurdhi benefit payments. Joint opposition parliamentarians wearing black bands and displaying placards within the chamber protesting against the slashing of Samurdhi benefits. Amidst the uproar, Speaker Karu Jayasuriya decided to call a party leaders' meeting and adjourn Parliament until then. After parliamentarian Dinesh Gunawardena has raised questions in Parliament regarding the instances of Samurdhi benefits being slashed, Chief Government Whip Gayantha Karunathilaka stated that Minister S.B. Dissanayake will provide a response to the Parliament in the next session. Welcome back everyone. The Cabinet today approved the increase of minimum fine for several motor traffic offences to 25,000 rupees. Speaking at the Cabinet media briefing today, Cabinet co-spokesperson Minister Gayantha Karunathilaka said the decision was made following the drastic increase in motor traffic accidents and the elevated death toll from accidents. The proposal brought forward by the Minister of Transport, Nima Siripala De Silva, includes a minimum fine of 25,000 rupees for driving without a valid license and employing a driver without a license, driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, crossing railway lines haphazardly, and driving without insurance. Fines for exceeding the speed limit will be charged as a percentage. Accordingly, a spot fine of 15,000 rupees will be imposed for those who are caught speeding 50% above of the stipulated limit. Meanwhile, the minimum fine for reckless driving was revised to 10,000 rupees, while overtaking from the left and underage drivers will be fined 2,000 rupees. A spot fine of 2,000 rupees will be imposed on drivers who are caught driving whilst using mobile phones. Meanwhile, a cabinet paper was presented by Transport and Civil Aviation Minister Nima Siripala De Silva on the lease of the Mattala International Airport to an Indian party.
Mattala Airport incurred a loss of 15,600 million rupees last year. A proposal was presented by an Indian party to run the Mattala Airport on a public-private partnership. Therefore, the Cabinet has decided to appoint a committee comprising of ministry secretaries to study proposals further.
Questions were also raised on the elections.
Election may take place at the beginning of next year, in which case we will dissolve provincial councils by January or February. We may also hold both local government elections and provincial councils together.
Construction process of the first two projects aiming to generate electricity from garbage commenced under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena today. The projects in Kerawalapitia are implemented as solutions to the issues related to improper garbage disposal.
KCH Sri Lanka Jang Company invested 27 billion rupees for these projects, which aim to generate electricity from garbage. Government expects to contribute 10 megawatts to the national grid through one power plant.
Our country didn't have to face issues related to garbage disposal if we had introduced this particular method decades ago. We have such a bad reputation when it comes to the garbage issue. Each time we tried to take important measures regarding these issues, people would gather and stop every effort. There's no point only in blaming the government. Certain environmental societies as well as other entities should also take responsibility on the garbage issue.
Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the central bank bond issuance informed the Chief Executive Officer of Perpetual Treasuries, Kasun Palisena, that he is given a fair chance to produce documents supporting his statements on the controversial Treasury bond auction held on the 27th of February in 2015. CEO of Perpetual Treasuries appeared before the Commission of Inquiry today as the sole witness for a third consecutive day.
President's Counsel Nihal Fernando, who appears for the CEO of Perpetual Treasuries, Kasun Palisena, leading the line of questioning today. Responding to questions, the CEO of Perpetual Treasuries said he did not know of the controversial disincentive rate of 5% being removed during the Treasury bond auction held on the 27th of February 2015. He also revealed that Bank of Ceylon, another primary dealer entity which acted on behalf of Perpetual Treasuries in bond auctions, refused to deal with the company after 6th of March 2015. Perpetual Treasuries had been dealing with Pan Asia Banking Corporation since. Meanwhile, Commission Member Justice Prasanna Jayawardena informed the CEO of Perpetual Treasuries that he has a fair chance of justifying his statement made yesterday on the controversial Treasury bond auction. Palisena told yesterday that the particular auction was extraordinary since it was the first to be held after the new government was established. He said it was also the first Treasury bonds auction the central bank organized in 3 months. Palisena also added that he understood of a 300 billion rupee government requirement which was due at the time. Justice Prasanna Jayawardena explained to the witness that the Commission has still not come to a conclusion regarding the controversial bond auction and events related to it. Commission member went on to say Palisena can therefore give his reasons or documents supporting the particular statements made while talking about Perpetual Treasuries tabling bids 15 times the announced amount.
Stephanie D'Souza of Venezuela, who won the title of Miss Earth Water, arrived in Sri Lanka today upon an invitation by TV Derana. Derana of Mark Mix Sri Lanka for Miss Earth 2017 is due to be held in Sri Lanka, and she will be participating at the finals of the event. She will also take part in several other events organized by TV Derana during her stay in Sri Lanka. The leader of the Awa gang, Satyavel Nishantan Nathan, along with 6 suspects who were arrested last week by the Terrorism Investigation Division in connection with the Kopai attacks, have been remanded till the 22nd of August by the Jaffna Magistrates Court. Let's now take a look at some other stories making news across Sri Lanka.
Mount Lavina Magistrate Muhammad Tiham revealed today that journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge died due to multiple attacks with a blunt instrument. This was revealed after deliberating the report produced by the Judicial Medical Officer following the exhumation of the late journalist's body. A security guard was killed when two robbers attempted to rob a private bank in Athidiya this afternoon. One of the robbers opened fire when two security guards who were on duty attempted to save a customer from being robbed. Police said that one of the security guards is currently receiving treatment at the Kalubowila hospital and further investigations are underway. A tense situation arose between a group of officers from the Department of Excise and Estate Workers yesterday when they attempted to conduct a raid following a tip-off on illicit liquor and other narcotics at the Abbottsley estate at Hatton. Hatton police arrived at the location and took measures to release the excise officials and their vehicles. Meanwhile, another raid was conducted by the police and the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources at the Palagoda Fish Market today. They discovered 1,000 kilograms of fish caught with the use of dynamite and poisonous substances. Two suspects along with their vehicles were taken into custody.
Let's take you to the stock market now. Shares recovered from a 3.5-month low today, snapping a 9-session losing streak as investors brought battered shares. The Colombo Stock Exchange rose 0.16% or 10.29 points to 6,516.32, edging up from its lowest close since April 25th hit from yesterday. It fell 15% last week in its third straight weekly drop. Now, for a full report on day's trading, let's cross over to Imeshi Fernando from the Colombo Stock Exchange.
The market capitalization at the end of the day was 2,955.5 billion rupees. Top 5 gainers of the day were Lanka Ceramic, Hunas Falls, Mala & Phipps, Udipusal Lava Plantation and Blue Diamonds, while the top 5 losers were Blue Diamonds, Non-Voting, Bearwell Resorts, Adam Capital, T Smallholder Factories and Swarn Mahal Financial Services.
On sports, Roger Federer made quick work of his match at Rogers Cup in Montreal yesterday, sending his opponent out of the tournament in straight sets. The Swiss maestro has only lost 2 matches out of the 34 he played this year.
Roger Federer needed less than an hour to defeat Canadian Peter Polansky 6-2, 6-1 in his first appearance since winning a record 8th Wimbledon title in July. A day after celebrating his 36th birthday, Federer played the aggressive game that has propelled him to 5 titles, including 2 Grand Slams this year, attacking the net and rocketing second serves. Meanwhile, Frenchman Gael Monfils fended off 4 match points to beat Japanese world number 9 Kei Nishikori in a 3-set thriller 6-7, 7-5, 7-6.
Moving on to international news now, it could be a matter of days before North Korea hatch a plan to fire several missiles near the US territory of Guam. The reclusive state's intentions were made clear via the state-run television KRT today, adding that the plan will be presented to the country's leader Kim Jong-un for approval.
Earlier this week, US President Donald Trump warned North Korea that it would face fire and fury if the country threatened the United States. North Korea's official news agency KCNA described Trump's threat as a load of nonsense. KCNA said the North Korean army is developing a plan, quote, in order to interdict the enemy forces on major military bases on Guam and to signal a crucial warning to the United States, unquote. State media said Hwasong 12 rockets would pass over Japan and land in a sea about 30 kilometers from Guam if the plan was approved by Kim Jong-un.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now to take a look at what the weather holds for the next 24 hours. For that, let's cross over to Katharina Chang at the Weather Centre.
A very good evening and welcome to the Weather Centre. Now we can expect temperatures to vary between 22 and 32 degrees Celsius over the next 24 hours. Now when we look at the map, we can see a formation of a low pressure zone in the area, particularly in the western as well as the eastern part of the island. Now this could bring about thunder showers in the Anuradhapura, Trincomalee and Batticaloa areas, while intermittent showers may also be expected over Colombo, Galle, Mathura and Kandy. Fairly heavy rainfalls of about 50 millimeters may also be expected at some areas in Uva province as well. That is it from the Weather Centre tonight, but let's now take a quick look at the city-by-city forecast.
And that is a part of your world tonight right here on Other Derana 24/7. I'm Mahesh Johnny. We will return tomorrow first at 9. Be sure to join us then. And before we wrap things up for tonight, here's a sky view over our beautiful Sri Lanka. Enjoy and good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.